Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Triple G is about that life. Triple G is not playing around with Canelo, with his trilogy, the whole undisputed distinction at 168. Triple G's not going for the BS. He doesn't want to hear anything Canelo has to say. Triple G has reached his boiling point. Ever since this third fight was announced, Triple G's been trying to be cordial, respectful, not peeling back any old scabs, right? Canelo doesn't want to let anything go. He's trying to fuel himself, trying to motivate himself, and convince the world that he's going to enter that ring and knock out Triple G, saying it's personal. Triple G keeps saying it's not personal. It's just boxing, it's just business. Canelo's like, say to my face what you've been saying. And Triple G is taking the high road. A lot of people, for some reason, let me fix this, are saying that Triple G is intimidated by Canelo. And to that I say, hold your horses. How the hell is Triple G scared of Canelo? He beat Canelo in the first two fights. Now, some of you may disagree with me, but let's just be real, man. Triple G landed more punches, man. He beat Canelo. We know how it goes in boxing, man. Canelo got the gift decisions. He did make some adjustments going into the second fight and fought, quote-unquote, Mexican style. But that wasn't enough to win. They robbed Triple G twice, okay? So Canelo can say, oh, for the last, 4 or 5 years, he didn't want to fight me. He's been scared of me. Now he wants to start talking. Look, man, I wouldn't want to fight you or have much to say about you either, because I know I'm going to keep getting robbed. And if I did talk, I'd probably be speaking negatively and sounding like a sore loser. So I would shut up. But, when I do talk, I'm going to talk how I feel. And Triple G he's been adamant in regards to him feeling that he was robbed. I think he won those two fights. But this is the thing. Don't for a second forget where Triple G comes from. Triple G, man, this man didn't grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth. Neither did Canelo. I think people just look and see, well, we know Canelo's story, but I think some of y'all are forgetting about Triple G, man. The Kazakhstan monster. This man grew up rough. A type of life that a lot of us will never know about. Okay? So there's nothing intimidates Triple G. Now, Triple G has got tired and he started firing back. So we're not talking about some allegations in regard to Canelo and the steroid usage. We are talking about true facts. He is the one who tested positive, and he's the one who's trying to come up with some excuses, trying to blame other people. Stop it. You cheated. Boom. Now, doesn't sound like someone who's scared or who's avoiding confrontation or who's worried about someone taking what he says personal. Sounds to me like someone who's becoming ticked off and going, Roy Jones, y'all must have forgot what I do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say this, right? I agree with the majority. I agree with the consensus that someone's going to get knocked out in this fight. I believe that. I don't think it's going to be Triple G. All right? I don't think it's going to be Triple G. I think Canelo is going to stand there, try to stand there to prove a point. Triple G he's going to get hit because Triple G is going to be in front of Canelo. Canelo throws crazy combinations. Those combinations Canelo lets go are crazy. And Triple G is going to be in front of him, unfortunately for Triple G. But I don't think Canelo's going to be able to break Triple G down. I think Triple G is going to hurt Canelo. He's going to catch him. Who has more stamina? That was the problem for Canelo in the first two fights. That's been Canelo's problem in a lot of his fights. He can get you out in the late rounds, but he slows down. Triple G does not slow down. I think by round 10, I think Triple G knocks Canelo out in round 10. And, some of you guys are going to say I'm crazy in my predictions, because I got Benavidez and Lemieux wrong. Let me tell you, my prediction was spot on. What I didn't anticipate was Benavidez going back to the lab and he corrected everything that I saw as holes in his game that I thought Lemieux could exploit. So kudos to Benavidez. Right now, Benavidez looking invincible, in my opinion. Not just because he beat Lemieux, it's how he beat him, and I saw that he wasn't leaving his hands. He still puts him down, but he doesn't just keep him all the way down by his hips anymore. He's worked on that, obviously. With Canelo and Triple G's been out for a while. Just came back, fought Murata. First couple rounds, he looked a little rusty. Didn't like those body shots. But believe you me, Triple G didn't take a break. This man he not over there in Honolulu eating lao, dancing in a grass skirt, blowing on conchs, chilling. Triple G's in the lab working. And he's getting ready for Canelo. And he doesn't care. And I'm glad to see that in Triple G. It's just going to fuel him. And we already know Canelo's worked up. But let me tell you, Eddie Hearn isn't speaking with a lot of confidence right now. I'm going to do a video about that. Eddie Hearn is speaking with a whole lot of doubt because he knows that Triple G that we saw fight here recently, that's not going to be the Triple G that shows up to fight Canelo and the trilogy. That is not going to be the same Triple G. But anyway, I'm not going to go and try breaking this down. I've talked about this already. But it's going to be more. You better believe Canelo, because Canelo, it's the thing, right? Did he test positive for something? Yes, he did. But it wasn't, the traces that they found in his system wasn't enough to give him any benefit. Okay, so he did test positive for something, but it doesn't look like it. Well, two things. One, for what they found, it wouldn't have benefited him anyway. So that's the first thing. Let's get that out there. Okay? Was he positive? Yes. Did it look like he was doping? No, because it just wasn't enough in his system to benefit. The counteraction to that, right? This is how you cross-examine that. It's like, okay, he didn't have enough in his system to benefit him. As a result, he was doping before. And it just so happened by the time the urinalysis and blood test work came around, he was off cycle, so it had got out of his system for the most part. See, that's the counteraction to that. If people are saying, okay, first of all, why was it even in the system? It wasn't no damn Canelo beef, wasn't no contaminated water or food. It's in his system because he wasn't going through any drug or urinalysis, he wasn't going through any blood or urinalysis testing, and he had been cycling and taking dope for years. Just so happened he had to do a blood and urinalysis test, VADA testing. He knew that he had a fight coming up. He got off of it, thought he had enough time to get out of the system, and that's why there was such small traces in his blood. Now, that is an argument that I heard several years ago. And I was like, you know what? I'm not an expert in that, but it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, with this stuff that they find and some of these guys' samples, right? Man, there's different things that could cause that to show up. And it doesn't mean someone's doping. But at the same time, you don't have to agree, but you can understand why people would believe that. So it is what it is. Unfortunate for Canelo that happened, but it's always going to be something people are going to talk about. They're going to talk about those things, okay? It is what it is. But that's neither here nor there. Going into the fight, look, it's going to be, I think, a real good fight. Triple G's not the kind of guy to say stuff to hype up a fight or sell a fight. Triple G's there to fight. He's not there to play around. And I really think Canelo has pissed him off. I really do. And I'm glad. Canelo, I think what were they, man, in California or something? It was the first pitch thrown out. Canelo and Triple G, man, got a face off. Canelo always getting right up in his personal space and trying to act tough and go Viva Mexico, man. I mean, it's cool, but I think Canelo felt he had the upper hand and was intimidating him, and Canelo and Triple G's afraid to talk. Let me tell you something about them guys from Kazakhstan and Dagestan and well, all them different stands out there, right? Those people, they speak their mind. They'll see you, and you can be someone who's like morbidly obese, and they'll tell you you're fat. Whoa, you're very fat. You must reduce your weight. And they don't say that as a way of trying to be mean to you. They're just very open and direct. You can have acne in your face, and they'll say, what are all those bumps in your face? Why do you have so many of these bumps in your face? And they don't mean anything by it. They don't realize that can make you uncomfortable or offend you. Then they may go and start talking about different things you could take to clean your blood, and maybe that will help with your skin condition. But what I'm telling you, those people are very direct and very blunt. Now, the flip coin to that is, if they don't like you, or if they don't like something, and they've said it before, they will say it again. They don't care. Because culturally, that's just how the society is. Very direct, very blunt, very, very open people. It's not like here in America where a lot of times people are watching what they say, people are so sensitive. I think for the most part, the culture over here is you don't want to offend. Where in some of the cultures outside of the United States, it's not that anyone's trying to offend you or anything. They just talk. Very straight, very direct. I'm going to tell you, being from a West Indian background, West Indian people, the same way. If you're ugly, they'll tell you you're ugly. If your child's ugly, they'll say the child's ugly. If you're fat, you're fat. If you're skinny, you're skinny. If you're short, you're short. You're tall, you're tall. If you got big eyes, you got big eyes. If big lips, like they don't care. Like they just don't care. If your food tastes bad, your food tastes bad. Nobody care. They just say what comes to their mind. And if you don't have thick skin, you're going to struggle, man. You're going to struggle. So I said all that to say this. Triple G's not a guy who's going to say something and not come back and say it again. He's not going to care about how Canelo feels. He's going to try to be professional, but if you keep pressing him, he's gonna come and fire back. And that's what you see happening here. And it's getting under Canelo's skin. Canelo doesn't like to talk about that steroid stuff. He doesn't want to talk about those samples. And I get it. I believe Canelo. I do. I honestly believe him. But something happened. It ended up in the system. But I believe Canelo. I believe he wasn't cheating. I believe him. But, hey, man, something happened. And that's why people will always speculate. But that being said, Triple G's about that life. He's not going to let Canelo punk him. And I think he's kind of said, you know what? He wants to keep talking all this trash about things I've said. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about it. Boom! And he hit him with that steroid stuff, and he's going to keep talking. Canelo better leave Triple G alone. Triple G's he's not Caleb Plant. Where you can come and, had it back and forth and slapping each other and whatever on stage, then get in the ring and think Triple G's going to be asking him a question about how good he is, or trying to get him to give him a stamp of approval. Now, Triple G's not about that. He's a true sportsman. He's not going to hit him when he's down like he had a chance when they were fighting. I think it was that first fight. I think it was the second fight. Canelo kind of slipped. Triple G could have cracked him. He didn't. He stepped back, let him get up, fair fight. This fight, I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope not. I hope it's a fire fight. I want to see it. And, I don't really care who wins in the fight, but I want to see them get busy, and I think he'll end in a knockout if Canelo doesn't temper his anger and go on there more controlled. I think Canelo's going to get himself clipped. But at the same time, this is boxing. Canelo's a bad boy, really ill combinations, and he hits hard. But Triple G hits hard too. But I don't think Triple G's gonna look old. I think Triple G's gonna look good, gonna look fresh, and Canelo's gonna be surprised. But anyway, you can leave your comments below because I'm sure you have an opinion. That being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to all the veterans. Triple G is all about that life, and I'm in the breeze.